Jess from Backyard Botany. I've been getting a lot of questions lately about how I started my business, so I thought I'd take you for a walk and talk to you about how I got into Backyard Botany and why I set Backyard Botany up. What do I offer, and how you could do it too if it's something that you're interested in doing and if you have a passion for plants. So come on a walk with me. Again, always out walking through the bush, and we'll talk about it. So first, maybe we'll start with my younger life. I had a really good upbringing. I lived in Frankston, which is in Victoria, Australia, and my family used to take us out camping a lot. I'll insert a couple of pictures below of me out camping. It wasn't uncommon for us to nibble a couple of things out bush. We would always have campfires and cook some food in the campfires. So I loved camping, loved going four-wheel driving. We used to do some pretty intense four-wheel driving where we would have to cover the front of the car. I think I've got a picture of that too, I'll put here. And we would go into the rivers to cross them, and as kids we used to have to sit out on the windowsill, open the windows, take our seatbelts off and sit on the windowsills in case the car floated away and we had to swim out of it. So it was a pretty pretty outdoor kind of lifestyle. Where we used to live was in a court, and it used to have it was like a cul-de-sac sort of thing, and that had a little park opposite it with trees and rocks in it, and so us and all the kids in that court used to go play out in that as well. So lots of outdoor time. Also, it was the 80s, 90s and 2000s, so technology wasn't around as much as what it is today. In the square that I grew up in back when I was younger, there were these flowers, and I remember them smelling like chocolate, and I've recently just gone back and found what they were in this square that I grew up in. I haven't been back there since I was sort of a young teenager, and there is a remnant patch of chocolate lily there, so I'll pop some pictures there too. I was really curious, now that I'm a botanist, about what those flowers were that I remember. Growing up, I was outdoors a lot, loved going camping, loved hanging out outdoors, loved all the plants, and when I became a teenager, I went to school, and I didn't enjoy it very much. I don't think I was particularly built for sitting in a classroom all day, every day, and listening to teachers talk at a speed that was not quite as fast as I was hoping for. I've learnt this now in my older life, but that led to me not getting very good marks through school. So a lot of my schooling, I either didn't show up, or when I did show up, I would cause trouble. And I ended up graduating high school with an under 30 enter score. I'm not sure what they're called these days, but it was under 30, so whatever that is. They didn't even give me a grade, just a below 30. I don't know if I did that the right way then. My point with telling you about my early teenage years and not doing overly well at school is just to let you know that I personally don't believe that we should be forcing kids to achieve really great results in school. I think in today's day and age, it's not ideal to just tell people they need to know what they want to do by the age of 16. So I just wanted to let people out there watching know that it's okay to not know what you want to do, and it might come later in life for you, and that's okay. You may not do good in school, and that doesn't mean that you're not going to grow up and become a successful scientist. So if you had told me that 20 years ago, that I would end up being a scientist, there is no way I would have believed you. I would have just laughed in your face. So anyway, post high school life, I was always into surfing, and when I turned 18, I got myself a license and I would be out surfing and foraging everywhere I could. I started planting in pots, planting in my garden, planting anywhere I could, anything edible that I could, and then that progressed into permaculture, fermentation, sourdough making, lacto-fermentation. I'm leaving things out, propagating, all the plant things, and then it swung around into native edible plants. So I would go out on weekends and I would get reference books and I would look for all of these edible plants that I could. And I've been doing that for over 20 years. I'm about to turn 40 this year, and that was just a passion of mine. So that's where that kind of all begun. A couple of the things that really spurred on the creation of Backyard Botany are working in the city. So before I had kids, I had a job for superannuation, and I would work up in the city, and I would wake up at 5 in the morning, walk down to the train station in the dark, get on the train to the city for an hour or so, walk about 1 kilometre to work, and sit in an office that had no windows all day. And then I would work till about 5:30, jump on the train and get back to the train station and walk home in the dark. So this continued for about a couple of years, and I didn't see any daylight unless it was on weekends. So it was really bad for the dog that I had and really bad for my mental health and well-being. During this job, I realised that there just had to be a better way. I can't be the type of person that sits in an office all day, every day, and does paperwork. It didn't work when I was at school, and it wasn't going to work for a job as I was an adult. So I thought that I would try something a little bit more creative, which led me to a diploma. I did a diploma in makeup just before I had my kids, and I got high distinctions in everything that I did. I really committed to it. It was far more creative than I could have thought, which was incredible. And that was a potential job that could have been good for me. And I did do that for a couple of years, but I just found it a little bit superficial. The looks that women were trying to achieve didn't really sit right with me morally. Everybody was just wanting to look like Kim Kardashian. And the products are all tested on animals. A lot of them don't have very good ingredients in them. So the whole lot, when I moved down to Phillip Island and I had my kids, it just became too much, and the whole lot was just not really the vibe that I wanted for my lifestyle. There was a small job that I was working on, a small movie, and when my son was young, I had to breastfeed. We were on set for a really long time, and I think if you want to pursue a life of makeup artistry, especially if you're wanting to get into special effects and work on movies, living out rurally is probably not the best choice for that. You probably want to be in the city and be prepared to have long days out on set. So yeah, that's where I sort of came from. One of the things that I knew from a really early age was that I wanted to be a mum, and I wanted to be the best mum that there was out there. So raising a family for me was a non-negotiable. I'm lucky enough that I did have two beautiful kids. I have a beautiful 7-year-old daughter named Avi and a gorgeous 10-year-old son called Orly. They are into foraging and everything outdoors. My son is currently making bows and arrows out of coastal tea tree, and my daughter is a little foraging master as well. So she'll often eat her way through the bush. And this is the lifestyle that I want to be creating for them. I know I'm telling you a story, but I'm also walking out bush, and I can't help but get distracted by the bush foods that are all around us. So here we have Coprosma quadrifida. These have little red berries on them that are edible. Oh, falling off in my hand. I've just been doing a workshop with clay making, so I have clay all over my hands. Coprosma quadrifida is a yummy little bush snack, high in vitamin C. Does have big pips in it though. So you can chew off the flesh. I lost my seed. This is the flesh. Eat that. Let me see if I can show you the seeds. The seeds are quite big though. So you want to spit them out. I mean, you can eat them too. Adds a little bit of fibre, but anyway, back to the story. When I was pregnant with my son, I went down to part-time work, and I continued to do that until I had him, and then obviously I stopped. And I didn't go back to work until after both my kids have gone to school, which I'm very fortunate that I've been able to do that. But it didn't really occur to me until I had a conversation with my husband where he had said to me, maybe you're not cut out for full-time work. And at the time, that was like a light bulb moment going off. And I thought, why have I never thought about that before? Why are we always so conditioned that we must do full-time work? So this is where another part came into play of maybe we don't need to be doing 9 to 5 and working 5 days a week, 6 days a week. Just prior to COVID, I went and got qualified as a botanist. I did a 6-year degree and did it in 4.5 years in environmental science with a bachelor, and I did a major sequence in plant biology and a minor sequence in Indigenous studies. And little did I know that I was going to end up launching a business where I would end up working 5 days a week. But it's fantastic because it's a sustainable business, and it shows my kids that they don't have to work in an office for somebody else. They can do something that's feel good and that's good for the environment. After I graduated my degree, I set up Backyard Botany. This is my company where I get booked as a guest speaker on native edible plants all over Victoria. I do informational sessions online. I work with big corporations to try and promote their sustainability and brand partnership. And we just do everything plant-based. If it's edible, it's even better. And we try and talk about the botany, the science of plants, why they do what they do, plant physiology, evolutionary traits. And I launched in March 2025, and I have bookings out until July 2026. So not only was this a passion of mine that I pursued, it also is appearing to be really wanted and needed in society to infuse people with plant knowledge that we're kind of losing along the way as we disconnect from nature. I haven't touched on why I created Backyard Botany for people. The reason that I did that is because of the lack of connection. The lack of connection to one another, the lack of connection to our natural world and the connection that we have to botany. So there was a scientific study done in the 90s that proved that humans were, about 95% of humans were plant blind. And this is not our fault. It's an evolved habit. So if you were to see something in the bush, let's say a fox, you would notice it. You would probably even be able to know it's a fox. You may not know its scientific name, but you'd be able to say, that's a fox. That could bite me. When it comes to plants, they don't serve us any purpose anymore, except, to provide us oxygen and keep us alive and feed us and all of those important things. But outside of that, we don't see them for what they are. When we look into this bush, we just see greenery. We don't see food because we don't need to, because we have supermarkets. So the purpose of Backyard Botany is to enable you to slow down and train yourself to not be so plant blind. So that's what I do. And hopefully you'll come along the journey and learn something about plants, connect with people over plants, and connect with plants themselves. There's a couple of key features that Backyard Botany offer at the moment. One is to come to your school, kinder facility, aged care facility, workplace, and talk to you about Australian native plants. And this is called a native edible plant talk shop. The other product that I offer at the moment are coastal foraging walks. I offer those privately to groups or to public, but I only open them to public every 3 months or so because I'm a bit busy with the private ones. So you got to book in quick for those because they sell out very fast. The other thing that I offer is native edible garden installation with informational signage. So if your facility is wanting to do that, I can help write grants to get quick response grants to install those into your facilities. So that's the majority of what I'm doing at the moment: public speaking, workshops, botanical workshops, and native edible garden installation. I've also just worked on a children's book called The A to Z of Botany for kids. Doesn't say for kids actually. I'm sure that most adults could learn something from it as well. And it's heavy botany broken down in easy to understand language. So that is going to launch this year, and that's been a project I've been working on for about 18 months. I'm very excited about that, and I can't wait to start. Bug just flew on my head. I can't wait to start launching that. So this year, 2026, is going to be the year that I will be contacting facilities to see if they want to host Meet the Author book launches, and hopefully some garden centres and companies want to get me in to talk about the book. So stay tuned for that. Thanks for coming on a walk with me today while I share my history and what I'm all about. If you'd like to learn more about Backyard Botany or how we can collaborate or partnership together, just reach out, and I'm on most socials and you can message me on those or send me an email to backyardbotany@hotmail.com. If you do one thing today after watching this video, all I want you to do is go out and connect with a plant. Take your shoes off, walk through the grass, just go out and enjoy nature. And I know that that's a little hypocritical because we're filming and watching this on technology, but after this, put your phone down for 5 minutes and go and walk in the grass and connect with nature. And I'll catch up with you soon. Bye.